here today. The main goal or mission at Toastmasters is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication as well as leadership skills, which results in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The theme for today's meeting is Monsoon Magic. A good monsoon symbolizes prosperity and is also much needed relief from the harsh heat of the summer. Monsoon fills the air with freshness and calmness, which I say is magical indeed. And with that, let's proceed forward. And for that, I welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Anthony Gomes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I don't see many guests, but all Toastmasters, so that becomes a family. On behalf of the club, I welcome you all to this last pre-charter meeting. Not that we are winding up, it's just that here is where we're going to start. Today, as we start with the meeting, I would like to announce a couple of things. Firstly, if possible, keep your videos on and keep your mics off. However, if you see that when the speaker is up on the screen and there is a glitch, possibly then you could stop your video transfusion. That way, it will help us with the bandwidth, saving the bandwidth, and the other person can be heard. Apart from that, since we are in the comfort of our homes, you know very well where your washrooms are, where your coffee mug is. And in case you have to get up from your screen, which I hope that doesn't happen, you know where your button to stop video is. So moving ahead, I would like to hand over the session that we're going to have today to a Toastmaster who is very dynamic, and I have seen him for a very long time, since the time I have joined Toastmasters. He has not only been active in Toastmasters, but beyond that, in many other associations that I know him. I've actually seen him even when I was a student in, I think it was iCreate and other projects like that. He has been instrumental in getting this club together, and at the same time, somebody who has been an area director in the past and also president of the Margaon Toastmasters International. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome with a round of applause our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Manish Gosalia. You can clap with your microphones on.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anthony. And what a great start. Thank you, Varun, for getting in the theme of getting the Toastmasters mission out. And thank you for the very kind introduction. So just so that most of us are Toastmasters, as Anthony has mentioned, but for the benefit of some of our newer Toastmasters, I thought I'd just run you through with my role for today. We usually don't do it for veteran meetings, but for this one, I thought I'll just cover it briefly. So as Toastmaster of the day today, my role is broadly what you would call an MC, if it's an event or if it's a program. And I'll be bringing in the role players, the table topics. If we had speakers, I would bring in the speakers. And at some point of time, I would hand over my role to the general evaluator, who will complete and give an overall feedback of the entire meeting. So I'll jump in straight into the theme for today, and that's Monsoon Magic. I had actually thought of beautiful sunsets as one of the themes, and it kind of matches the beautiful sunsets, monsoon magic. And the reason why I brought up beautiful sunsets is because the sky, if some of you have been going outdoors, even if you're indoors, but if you're on your balcony, you will see the sun is these days in all its glory when it's setting. It's extremely beautiful. And I've been going to the beach for the last 1 month or so, 1.5, 2 months, which I was not doing earlier. I used to be stuck in my office or in some cases Toastmaster meetings, traveling up and down. And the beauty of the sunset brought a lot of emotions, because we are all locked down. We are all facing a whole lot of stress-related issues, work, business, career. There are a lot of questions. A lot of family and friends are going through some challenge. I'm sure you would have also faced that. And I feel that the sunsets in Goa are spectacular. And if I get an opportunity, I'll put up some pictures through the entire meeting so one would get a feel of what I have in mind. But it's safe to say that I got in late for the meeting today is because I left early today. At 4:30, I went to the beach and came back. Goa is blessed. I have friends and family who are indoors in Bombay or in Pune and in other larger cities. And they have not stepped out of their homes for over 4 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And it's a very humbling experience for people like us because we may not have the wealth that they have because they live in multi-million apartments, multi-million dollar or multi-million crore apartments. They have all the jewelry. They have all these wonderful parties that they tell me they were attending. And I'll be very honest, I did feel a little bit envious. When they used to tell me all these great people when they are in the banking sector and they're in this IT sector. And I did feel a little envious, But since Feb, March, the story is a little different. They are now envious of me going out for a simple sunset or a little drive to the beach or my opportunity to sit with my mom or my family. Because we have all Goans are blessed with a little larger home than those small apartments of a 1 or 2 bedroom there of 800 square feet or 900 square feet. That's like 90 square meters. And I think several Goans or people who live in homes in Goa would have a much bigger space than 80 or 90 or 800, 900 square feet. So I think we are extremely blessed. Money is important for everyone, but actually what they are spending today is a fraction of what they were spending earlier, and they now don't know what to do with all that money they have, all the jewelry they have, or clothes they have. So just a little bit of, I would say, gratitude is something that we could all look for, and that's how the theme of beautiful monsoons and beautiful sunsets. So as I move into our next segment is to introduce our wonderful role players for today. And I would like to call in our timer for today is Toastmaster Gopal. I will ask him to explain his role and then tell us how it will all pan out. If I do need to come in at any point of time, I will complete it at the end of his presentation. So may I invite Toastmaster Gopal?
Gopal, unmute yourself.
Gopal, we can't hear you. You're not audible. Unmute yourself.
He has unmuted himself.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for the technical glitch. Good evening to my fellow Toastmasters. My name is Gopal. Today I'm going to enact the role of timer. So as a timer, I'm going to monitor the time, especially during the impromptu speeches. I'm going to monitor the time. So for monitoring the time, I have these time cards with me. So there are 4 colors. This white color, I'm going to flash these cards, time cards. I have 4 color time cards with me: white color, and green color, yellow, and red color card. So I'm going to tell you the significance of these colors. White color, up to 1 minute in the impromptu speech, up to 1 minute, I'm going to flash this white color timer card. And once the speaker completes 1 minute, then I'm going to flash this green color card, which means 1 minute of time, he has completed successfully. And if he completes 1.5 minutes, then I'm going to flash this yellow card, which means 1.5 minutes of time he has completed. And if the speaker, goes beyond 2 minutes, then this red card, which means the disqualification. If the time goes beyond 2 minutes, the stipulated 2 minutes, then this is a red card, which means a disqualification. So these are the timer cards which I am going to use. Also, at the end of the session, I'm going to summarize. I'm going to give the time summary for all the speakers who participated in the impromptu speech. So that's my role. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, that's from my side.
Thank you. Thank you, Gopal. I just thought, Toastmaster Gopal, I'll just make a couple of recommendations. You don't need the white card. Okay, you go straight into the green card at 1 minute. At 1.5 minutes, you show the amber or the yellow card. Or 2 minutes, you can show the red card. There is a 30-second grace period for the speaker.
Okay.
I hope I'm right. 30 seconds, right, Clyde?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have 30
Yes,
seconds
sir.
as grace period for the speaker to sum up his or her table topics. So I just thought. And you might
Thanks
want
for
to,
reminding.
no problem. And you can just take down the time of the meeting start. It will help your GE.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gopal, for taking on that role, your maiden role. Thank you very much. May I ask our next role player is Toastmaster Alida to explain her role as an R counter.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Alida and I'm the R counter for today's meet. Just like we rely on an umbrella to protect us from rain, it's easy for us to lean on crutch or filler words when we are rattled while speaking, whether we are nervous, bewildered, or simply bereft of speech. These filler words can distract the audience from your message and can reduce your credibility. As an R counter, I'll keep a watch over all filler words or sounds such as you know, like, etc. That each speaker will use in today's session. And at the end of the session, I will give a report to help identify all the filler words that have been overused. So throw your umbrellas away and let's learn to dance in the rain and make this meeting amazing. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alida. Thank you for that explanation, and that's really well done. Thank you very much. Before I bring in our next speaker, I would like to ask Toastmaster Aliro to not only explain his role, but to give a short brief of what he thinks about beautiful monsoons or beautiful Sundays or something that he's grateful about. I do apologize that I did not ask the earlier two Toastmasters, that is Toastmaster Gopal and Toastmaster Alida. Could you put it in the chat or you can explain it when you come in to give your report? So may I invite Toastmaster Aliro to come in and explain his role.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to everyone speaking in this meeting and look out for improper usage of the language as well as good use of the language, word, sayings, or thought. To the end of being upon and to deliver my report. Okay. As a grammarian, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day. So, for this meeting, the word day is enthrall. E-N-T-H-R-A-L. Okay. Its definition is to capture the fascinated attention of. I'll be putting it in the chat box, the meaning and with the examples. Okay. In simple words, the meaning is capturing one's complete attention. Okay. Some examples for that are, this book is so enthralling that I couldn't put it down. Okay. The second example is, this book will enthrall readers of all ages. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. for that, for giving us the word. A very an interesting word, enthrall. I encourage all our speakers today to use the word and enthrall the entire audience today, so that they can be part of the entire meeting. So I encourage everyone to use it. As we don't usually, I mean, for the benefit of course, we are all Toastmasters, but for the benefit of all, we usually have a speaking session, usually in Toastmasters meeting, followed by a table topics and then evaluation. Today, we don't have any speakers. Is that, I just want to confirm that with Toastmaster Anthony, we have no speakers?
No, there are no speakers today.
Okay. So may I move into the table topics segment?
Yes.
I would like to introduce, as I would say, one of the best speakers in the entire Toastmasters pantheon, not just in Goa, but across the country. A gifted speaker, a gifted orator, a person who has spent quite a few years in Toastmasters and has actually hosted some of our major events. And someone I really look up to is, of course, Toastmaster Runa. Before I ask her to come on, please, I do request Toastmaster Runa to enthrall the entire audience today with a little thought about today's theme, so that we can get your perspective on it. I wish Toastmaster Runa all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manish. You were too kind. That was a very nice introduction. But I think the theme of today's meeting, Monsoon Magic, is just perfect. It just so happened that, at least at my end of Goa, today was the rainiest day. I don't know whether you all experienced it. So the perfect day for this theme. Only about an hour back, the sun came out and we could see a beautiful sunset, like you had in mind, Toastmaster Manish. I'm really not just happy, but enthralled to see such a vibrant, to-be chartered Vasco club. I wasn't expecting to see so many new Toastmasters and, of course, many of our experienced Toastmasters who are a part of the Vasco club now, like Toastmaster Vishal, Toastmaster Anthony, and Toastmaster Meenal. They have been with Toastmasters for a long time, but they are going to be a part of the Vasco club from now on. That's fantastic. Well, like Toastmaster Manish said, we are not having a speaking session today. We're going to have a table topic session, and we will have a little bit of like an educational session, a little bit of an overview of table topics. So I'm sure, especially for the benefit of the new members of the Vasco Club, I'm sure you're aware of what table topics is about. It's that section of the meeting where you have to speak on the spot. It's about impromptu speaking, where you have no time to prepare at all. And you know that today, impromptu speaking is considered to be one of the greatest skills. It's one thing to be able to prepare and learn by heart and practice a speech beforehand, but to have to, listen to a topic and to be able to respond immediately is something that any person, forget Toastmasters, but any person today would die to have a skill like that. Now, I've always been fascinated by this term, table topics. I don't know whether you have felt the same way. And I've always wondered what table topics, why that term? And it appears as if for the rest of Toastmasters also, this term table topics is quite a mystery, because I haven't found too many details about it. My understanding is that in the initial meetings, when Ralph Smedley first started Toastmasters, besides the prepared speeches, he decided to have one section of the meeting, maybe after a few initial meetings, not from the first meeting onwards, but he decided to have everybody write a topic on a piece of paper and leave it on the table. And then people would pick up the topic from the table and then speak on the spot. That's how the term table topics came into the picture. Now, for today's meeting, I'm just going to focus on 3 table topics techniques that you could use to, improve your table topic skills. And trust me, there is no better place to develop your impromptu or extemporaneous speaking skills than Toastmasters. I mean, you should look at some of us, what we were when we first joined Toastmasters, and how much confidence we have gained, how much, we are able to talk about. Like, for instance, when I start talking for table topics, I cannot finish before two minutes. I always tend to speak more. And that's what I think happens to a lot of us once we become adept at handling impromptu speaking. Now, I'm going to share the screen quickly. Do let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
You can? Okay, so you can see the first screen there?
Yes.
All right. So like I said, table topics, the whole idea is that little pieces of paper, you had a topic written by different people, and then somebody would randomly pick up and speak on that topic. So that's how it appears as if table topics started. And it's a skill that we all want to master. Now, I would say that the first technique that I'm going to tell you about, and I'm going to spend a little time on it, is the most basic and most important technique of impromptu speaking. I mean, you don't just use it for impromptu speaking, but let's say somebody asks you about something, you're having a conversation with someone, you can use this technique. If you have to write an essay or you have to write something down, write an article, you can use this technique. It's very basic, and of course you can make it better. But here is the technique that is called the OREO technique. Now, how many of you like Oreo biscuits? I don't see too many videos on, but I'm sure Oreo cookies are a favorite with a lot of us. Now, this technique is called the OREO technique because it's kind of like a cookie. And also, OREO is an abbreviation for opinion, reasons, examples, and opinion again. Let me explain this to you once, all right? Excuse me for having used a double Oreo cookie, a slightly, complicated version of the simple Oreo cookie, but it just helps me to explain the Oreo technique better. Now, how this works is, let's say you're given a topic. Let's say your topic is the sunset, all right? How do you start? You come up to speak, and a lot of us feel tongue-tied. We don't know what to say or where to start. The simple thing to do is, when you start, just state your opinion about the topic or your position about the topic. What does that mean? Do you like the sunset? You do not like the sunset? You have no time for the sunset? Or you think that the sunset is a glorious thing? Anything that you might say for, against, etc. would be your opinion on the topic. So you start by stating your opinion on the topic. Then the next thing is reasons. So the second step is, after you have stated your opinion, you can do it in a sentence, you can do it in 2-3 sentences. Then you give us reasons why. Like, let's say, for instance, I started by saying the sunset is something I treasure so much. I don't get to see it too much, and I wish I could see it a little more. That's my opinion. Then I give you my reasons. Why don't I get to see the sunset? Because I live far away from the sea, because I don't have the time at that time of the evening to be out. I don't have the luxury of going out for a walk like Manish does when the sun is about to set. Okay, so you give your reasons. Then the next thing is a very important part. Example. It could be one example. The more examples, the better. Why do you like the sunsets? Maybe you could relate an incident. Maybe you could tell us that, when I was a child, I used to walk with my mother to the top of this hill, and we used to sit together and watch the sunset. You can give some facts and figures about the sunset. You can tell us something that was reported in the current news recently. All right. You can give us a quotation related to sunset. Maybe something like keep your face to the sun and you will not see the shadows. So these are all examples that you weave in to your little speech, by which you're giving it more body and more content and more substance. All right. And once you have done all of that, and it doesn't have to be in any particular order, but in the end, you state your opinion again in the similar manner as you started. Like maybe you started by saying you treasure the sunset. You can end by saying, that is why I love the sunset and I'm really happy when I'm sitting on the beach and watching the sun set. So you've ended your little speech using this technique, and you've got so much to talk about. I'm telling you, if you use this technique, you can use it on any topic under the sun. I have tried it myself and it works. When you don't have the time to think, no time to prepare beforehand, just go up there, give them your opinion on the issue, or even if you don't have an opinion on the issue, let me give you an example. Suppose you get a topic like quantum physics, and maybe you've never heard that phrase before, or you don't know what it means. So your opinion is, I have no idea what quantum physics is about. And your reason is, that's because I don't study physics. I was a very bad student when it came to science subjects. And then you go on and talk about, give examples about what you were like as a child and how during your science classes you would be dreaming or throwing paper balls on someone. See, you're finding ways to speak about the topic even though you do not know about the topic. And then you end by saying, so that's what I know about quantum physics. I hope I've explained it to you well enough. So you understand you can use the OREO technique even when you know nothing about the topic. Now let me give you a quick example. Let's say you get the topic frogs. So your opinion could be you like frogs, you love the taste of frogs, or you don't like frogs. That could be your opinion. In this case, I have said, I don't like frogs much. Then you can give 2 or 3 reasons. One reason here is they are slimy creatures. They jump out of the grass suddenly and frighten you from behind. Then you can give an example. Maybe you're relating an incident about why you developed a phobia for frogs. When I was a child, this happened, etc., etc. You know, you can also give some facts. So you say something like, I remember reading that the world's biggest frog is the Goliath frog in West Africa. And you might go on to say, this is one frog I would never want to be face to face with. You know, give some more examples and wind up. Do not say exactly the same words that you said when you started. Although you're starting with an opinion and ending with an opinion, it's almost like a summary. So you summarize now, paraphrase now and say, that is why I'm really scared of frogs. Does that make sense? The OREO technique, do you think you could use it for your table topics in the future or any similar situation that you face in real life? All right. So that was technique number 1. Technique number, I'm just revising it again. It is OREO, opinion, reason, examples, and opinion. You can remember that forever. Picture the OREO cookie and you'll remember it. All right. The second technique is something called timeline. This is also a very simple technique. It's basically just taking something like the past, present, future, or when I was a child, this happened. In my teenage years, this is what I felt, and now, so today. So it could be, you know, past, then recent past, and present. Something like this is a very easy technique to follow through. Again, if your topic was something like the rain, you know, you can say something like, when I was a child, I used to love the rain because I would run out and get wet in the rain, etc., etc. Then you talk about in your teenage years, you began to hate the rain because you had a bike and you would get wet in the rain all the time and come home dripping wet. And then you talk about today, when you're stuck at home and you get hardly anything to do and you want to experience the rain. So again, the timeline technique is something that you can use very easily, and it fits almost any topic. The third technique is actually my favorite. It's called monodrama, okay? We also talk about it as thinking out loud. Now, what this means is, when you get the topic, you pretend to be someone else, or you take on another character, or you just pretend as if you're, caught in the middle of something, you're thinking out loud or talking out loud, and maybe you can act as if the audience is not there in front of you, or you can acknowledge their presence. All right. So let's say something like, when as a child, I used to love the song "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." I don't know if you're familiar with the song "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." Now, let's take that topic. Sometimes a song line or a quotation is given as a topic. So let's say the topic given to you was "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." Now, maybe in that split second when I get the topic, and I do have about 20 to 30 seconds to think, okay, of what I'm going to say, I decide that I'm going to pretend as if I'm getting wet in the rain. So of course, if we were in a real meeting, we would be standing. So we'd have little more space to move. We could use the stage area or the speaking area a bit, all right? And we can actually just think out loud. So it would be something like, oh my God, raindrops keep falling on my head. I'm stuck out here. What is happening? It looked so bright and sunny this morning, and I didn't think of carrying my umbrella. How did I expect the rain to come here? I hate this kind of situation. Just when I wear my best clothes, it has to rain. And look at my white pants. They've gone all muddy. Why does it have to rain on a day like this? And I still haven't finished my errands. And you go on like that. So basically, you're kind of enacting a scene. You can even act as if the audience is not in front of you. You're alone in some place, but you're thinking out loud, and it helps you to speak, so much better. Another thing you can also do is, if you like a character, let's say a cartoon character, or an actor or an actress or a sports person, you can pretend to be that person. Imagine if I were maybe Dhoni, getting caught in the rain. What would my acting be? It has to be someone you're very familiar with. Or you could just pretend to be a little child getting caught in the rain. Or you could pretend to be an old woman, and getting caught in the rain and asking somebody for help or for an umbrella or looking for shelter. So this is a technique that always works. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. Okay? So we just went through 3 techniques of table topic speaking. The first was the most basic. You can use this for any topic. It's called the OREO technique. The second was a timeline, where you talk about, it could be past, present, future. It could be present, future, and after you're in heaven or something like that. Okay, but basically it's kind of, you're taking a chronological order. And the third technique, of course, is monodrama, where you're putting on a little act and saying something while you answer your table topic speech. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Okay. I hope that made sense. And I hope in the coming table topic session, which I'm going to conduct now, you are going to make an effort to try to use these techniques. Okay. The simplest one to use would be the OREO technique. As soon as you start, you just give your opinion. You give us reasons why you have that opinion. Give us some examples to support what you just said, and wind up or summarize giving your opinion again. All right, very simple. Of course, our seasoned Toastmasters will also use many other techniques that they've learned along the way. I just want to mention very quickly that there are so many techniques that you can pull out of the hat and use for table topics. There are things like, point, counterpoint, where you express 2 points of view, both points of view, for and against. There are techniques like pretending to have a conversation. So you're actually pretending to be 2 people while you are speaking, like a mother and a son speaking to each other. And of course, using a prop is another great way to make yourself get ideas to speak for table topics. And a prop is a great way also to take the focus away from you. For those who do not know, a prop basically is any item. The word prop comes from drama, the idea of drama. And it's like, suppose I were to pick up a pen and I were to talk about it, or, you know, just use it to act out. It's like I'm using the prop. In a way, it is kind of like a crutch that I'm using to get better ideas to speak. And it takes the focus off me. So for somebody who's maybe nervous, or someone who wants a little more confidence, or is trying to get more practice, it's a great idea to just pick up a prop and use it to speak. I also want to mention that in a regular Toastmasters meeting, we would be maybe in a hall, in a room where there's an audience in front of you or around you. And there'd be so much more space. You'll be standing. Now, most of us, all of us are sitting today while we, attend this Zoom meeting. But there would be a space to move. We would be standing. We would have so much more to do. And another advantage, which we do not try out in Zoom meetings because of the technical problem, another advantage is you can have 2 table topic speakers going up at a time. So for instance, we could have a debate between 2 people, or a conversation between 2 people. Sometimes, I don't know whether our new Vasco Toastmasters have experienced it, but sometimes we even call up a group of people. So 5 people come up, and then each of them takes turns answering something, or says one sentence, in a cycle. So these are all part of the table topics that we try out, and I hope that all of us will be able to get back into a physical club and do a real-time meeting, because there's simply nothing like it. But while we're at it, I think we can now start our table topic session for today. So are you all ready? Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready for your table topic session? Great. Here's what I would like you to do. I cannot see all your videos right now. So even if you put a thumbs up sign, I'll have to scroll past. I may miss you, all right? So here's my suggestion. When I call out a topic, in some cases, I might call out a name and say, this is your topic, but I would prefer that I give you the topic and you volunteer to speak, all right? So if you think you would like to answer, I think you can unmute and say, here, and please tell us your name, because immediately we do not get you. So you unmute and say, Clyde here, I would like to answer. All right. And then you, of course, will be spotlighted by the Zoom master, and then you can go ahead. I just want to...
Runa,
yes.
Before we start, we'll unmute all, no? So they have the rights to mute and unmute themselves.
Okay, fine.
Fine.
So you've unmuted everyone. Now I'm going to request
Yes.
Runa, you may want to unmute yourself.
You're muted, Runa.
Sorry. Okay. Now that everyone is unmuted, I'm going to request all of you to please go and mute yourself. Yeah. Swayam. Yeah, okay. So now I think everyone is on mute. Perfect. So if you think like you want to answer, please unmute yourself. If there are 2 respondents at the same time, we will choose between one of them. Sometimes I may pick someone up. All right. Does anyone have...
Hi, I'm Clyde and I'd like to try.
Oh, okay, great. So you want to try the first one already?
Yes.
Let me find a difficult one for you. Can I do
This
that?
is not fair. This is not fair, but okay, go ahead. Let's
Not
see.
really difficult, but a little challenging. Okay. I'm going to show you a prop. All right. I'm going to show you a prop. Do you remember in school how every year you wrote 2 or 3 essays, autobiography of a coin, autobiography of a shoe, and things like that? Yes? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a prop. You have to pretend to be that and tell us where you were born, etc. Like your so what happened to you?
Okay.
This is it. Do you recognize it?
Are those,
These
what
are
are those, just shoes?
gumboots. Okay, these are
Gumboots, okay.
Of course, the gumboots
Okay.
are black and boring. These are a little more stylish, but you have to tell us aloud an autobiography of a gumboot.
It all started this one day. I was a seed, but not in the ground. I was a seed in the mind of an entrepreneur. Somebody who said, I will change the world that people walk on the face of this earth. Places where it is dirty and mucky, and places we cannot tread otherwise. I will save those souls that might have their feet bitten or poked by the creepy crawlies that the urban dwellers fear of. That seed grew into a tree which had the life force coming in and making it grow as big as it could. Well, this entrepreneur decided to get me out of the tree, get me out into a factory. Now, in this factory, where there's a lot of noise, I looked around with all my companions swimming with me. We can hear only oil. We can see oil. We can hear machines. We can hear people screaming. There's a lot of hissing going around. I did not know where I will go into. I could see some of my companions being diverted, and there was black color being poured into them. I screamed, I belong to the black. I belong to the black. I am male. At least I think I am male. But nobody heard me. I was taken into the machine. And I shut my eyes. When I opened my eyes, I saw pretty young woman looking at me from a distance, saying, I want that one. I felt special for once. My happiest moment was the time where I had a very seasoned Toastmaster and professional pick me up and said, I want you for life. And that's where I landed into a hands of a Toastmaster and as part of this table topic. Over to you, Toastmaster Runa.
Wonderful, Clyde. Amazing how you wove a lovely story into that and also brought in Toastmasters. Really very well done. So you see what Clyde did there was a little of everything. He had the timeline used because he talked about his origin story and how he has landed in the hands of Toastmasters today. He did a little bit of acting. He pretended to be swimming with his friends. He looked around, etc. So that monodrama element was there. And if you noticed, he also paused for effect in between, which allowed us to, take in, to understand, to register what he was saying, which was very, very important. Very well done, Clyde. We enjoyed that thoroughly. So would someone like to volunteer for the next topic, or should I tell you what the next topic is? Anybody?
Tell the topic first.
Who's that? Clifford? Yes?
Yeah.
Great.
No, I said I would like to know the topic first before I volunteer.
Okay, fine. Are you a sports person? Have you played any sport?
Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic. So this is
Yes,
your
yes, I have.
This is your topic, the experience of playing sport in the rain. The experience of playing a sport in the rain. You've never had it?
Try. I have.
Tell us what
so
it was.
Yes. Thank you, Aruna, for that wonderful topic. So I was kind of imagining that when you were going through with your presentation. So anyway, so rains is not something that I'm very fond of because it gets all mucky around. You can't put your foot. You can't walk around freely. So if you're walking on the road, you could be splashed with water all over your clothes. But then when it comes to playing football, rain just adds the spice to the game itself. So so I have memories of playing football on the beach side or on the seashore. And when it rains, it kind of gets hard. The sand gets hard, and you're able to play more freely. So it's one of the wonderful experience. And if I'm playing on the ground, then you tend to skid a lot. That is also a lot of fun when you skid, and it hardly hurts because you land on the water. So yes, playing in the rains is. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So playing in the rains is definitely one of my best or favorite moments that I ever have while playing any sport, especially when it comes to playing football. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. I think we can raise our hands to him, although he cannot hear us. Very well done, Clifford. You were very enthusiastic. You had that smile on your face all the time when you spoke about it, and you really spoke from your heart. It was from your personal experience. You may not have realized it, but you did kind of use the OREO technique when you went through it. Okay, like you gave us examples of how you used to play on the beach. You say memories of playing on the beach, and how if you skidded, you wouldn't hurt yourself because the ground was wet. And you wound up very nicely. Very well done, Clifford. Great. It was a perfect topic for you, I guess. So is there anyone else who's going to... Clifford, you can mute yourself now. All right. Is there anyone else who would like to try?
Hello, I'm Rishabh. I would like to give it a try.
Great. Rishabh, do you watch Hindi movies?
Not really, but yeah, I have seen quite a lot.
You have seen quite a lot. Okay. Would you be able to talk about the depiction of rain scenes in Hindi movies? What comes to mind first when we talk about rain scenes, rain, dancing in the rain and all of that in Hindi movies?
So when I start off, the first thing I can think of is Shah Rukh Khan doing a signature pose, him slowing down, and heroine running in a sari slowly towards the hero, and him spreading his arms towards her, and then her falling into his arms, and the background music all lovey-dovey, and people coming with a guitar and generally orchestrating the environment around them. Specifically, I do not remember of any scene as such in a Hindi movie wherein rain has been an element, but the idea of rain taking place in a movie is related to sadness or somebody being at a low moment in their life. A person coming in a restaurant and they both of them talking with each other, and then suddenly the heroine says something to the guy and he doesn't like it. She steps out, and then the rain starts. He walks out and sits on a bench with his head down, and the rain starts pouring, and then he looks up in the sky thinking why it's happening to him. So generally, rains in movies is either related to something really good happening or something really bad happening. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Excellent, Rishabh. Really well done. I think your description made us feel, at least I felt like I watched a Hindi movie today. All right, that was fantastically done. You really gave us some very visual and vivid descriptions. You painted a scene in front of us. I could picture Shah Rukh Khan and his heroine running towards him and all of that. And I love how you brought in symbolism. You talked about rain can be symbolic of sadness or loneliness, and it comes in at a time when something very serious has happened, or the hero is upset, etc. Really well done. So you can all see how when you let yourself go, you can really speak very well. Okay, who would like to try next?
Thank you.
Anyone's going for it? Anyone?
Let me try, Runa.
Okay, great. Siona, topic for you, all right? I'm going to show you a picture.
Okay.
So I'm just going to start screen sharing for a moment. Yeah. Can you see this picture? What do you see there?
I see some nice pakoras, sauce and tea. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so let me tell you what your topic is. Pakoras and chai, something typically connected with the rain. When it's raining outside and you're cozy at home, this is what you want to have. My question to you is, what is your comfort food or favorite food, or what kind of food do you connect with the monsoons?
What kind of
food? What kind of
Runa, can you? Yeah. Can you repeat what kind of
food? What kind of food do you connect with the monsoons? During the monsoon season, what food?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Pakoras and tea and sauce. When I look at it, although I crave for it sometimes when it's raining heavily, what I would really love to have is a cup of hot soup, sizzling hot soup, and that is what I remember my grandmother used to make. When it used to rain very heavily, we would be all sitting with her, along with her, in the kitchen and watch the rain. But she prepared the soup. And what was more interesting was each one sitting around the table and sharing our own ideas. The four siblings used to share our ideas about different things that has happened during the day. And what was more interesting was the way we used to have our soup with so much of excitement and so much of taste that she makes it with. I still really recall the soup that she used to make for us. And now, when it's raining, what I do is I try to imitate her, although it doesn't turn out that good. But I'm sure my daughter will say that yes, it is. And yes, I think I have imbibed certain qualities from my grandmother, which I have passed it on to my family. That's all from my side, Runa.
Very well done, Toastmaster Siona. You can see that she's a seasoned Toastmaster and she brought so many memories from her childhood. She talked about hot soup being shared along with stories, along with her grandmother. We saw flashes of her childhood. She talked about having 4 siblings, and she also ended by saying, I imbibed so much from my grandmother. So look at how the topic was food, but how so many other nuances of meaning came out into it. That really made it very, very interesting. Thank you, Toastmaster Siona. Who would like to try the next topic?
I'd like to go next.
That's Meenal? Okay, fantastic. Meenal, for someone like you, I think this is the perfect topic. Your topic is dancing in the rain. Dancing in the rain.
It all began, I believe, 7 years ago when I met this girl at a dance class. The irony was neither of us knew how to choreograph, but both of us were equally passionate about dancing. The first day was a little bleak, but we were enthralled with the magical and the melodious musical beats flowing through the air. And looking at our trainers, we were mesmerized. That's when we decided that our friendship is going to be strengthened by the bond of music, and it's going to be cemented by dancing. About a month later is when the magical monsoons decided to descend upon us. And although it was pouring outside, we had this crazy moment of wanting to step out. Of course, our parents said no, but the little rebellions that we took off. I had a license, I had a car, I drove. We went out on the beach, picked up a hot steaming plate of pakoras, got ourselves a nice cup of hot chocolate, and suddenly it was about 8 p.m. when we decided enough of sitting inside. We opened our doors, stepped out on the jetty of Panjim. I still remember very clearly there were passengers in the buses who assumed that there was a film being shot, and we threw caution to the wind and we were dancing in the rain. So thank you, Toastmaster Runa, for bringing back that memory for me. That's my dancing in the rain.
Awesome. Excellent, Toastmaster Meenal. That was really well done. Well, you can see that Toastmaster Meenal is a very eloquent speaker. Grammarian, I'm sure you noted that she used the word of the day, enthralled. She also used so many beautiful phrases and so much, such lovely language. You can tell she's a student of English literature. Also, if you've noticed, she started with an incident. It all began and she went on to talk about a dance class. And she ended with an incident at Panjim Jetty and justified, the whole topic of dancing in the rain. I think you did a fantastic job. You also brought in, by the way, magical monsoons and the pakodas. Now let me tell you, especially the new Toastmasters, that is also another technique that she has used. It's a technique called callback. So it's like when you call back an example or an incident or a joke or a reference that was made in the rest of the meeting. It doesn't have to be the meeting. It could be something that happened around you. It's called a callback, and it's a very effective technique. So it's like when the moment she talked about magical monsoons and pakoras, we knew what she was talking about because we had been discussing it earlier. All right, so great use of techniques and a very eloquent the table topic speech. All right, who's willing to try the next one? Okay, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to announce a topic, and it's a very simple topic, and I'd like some of the new Toastmasters to try. Okay, so the new Toastmasters, please try. I know a couple of you have already tried it. Kudos to you. So here's your topic. It is rain in my childhood, or the monsoons in my childhood. So your memories of the monsoons in your childhood. Who would like to try?
Okay, I'll try.
Wow.
Okay. The memory of my monsoons reminded me of my first day in school during the rainy season. It was all about arranging books, searching for spenders, and all the other stuff that were required to be prepared for the rainy season. It also reminded me of the umbrellas that I had to keep searching for during the rainy season. I used to be I'm still very careless with my things. So my parents had to arrange for all these things so that I am prepared for the school. To go to school. Another thing is, okay, I would just like to stop.
Alida, why don't you give us an example by giving us an incident? You remember something that happened, or you can even make something up. Continue.
Okay. Um, okay. I remember going for tuitions during my higher secondary, and there used to be some water collected at the entrance. So whenever we had to go for tuitions, we had to go through the mucky water. And I remember I used to feel very disgusted with it. And but still, we used to go just because we had to attend the classes. And then our pants used to be completely drenched with that water. And I still remember the stink of it in the class. The whole class used to stink. Um, and
All right. Okay. That was very well done. All you had to do was give us a winding up statement. So you could have said something like, and that's what I remember about the rains, the mucky water, and not wanting to get dirty during my childhood. All right. But very well done, Alida. You also started with an incident. You talked about your first day at school, and I'm sure we all went down memory lane because we've all been there too ourselves. And you brought out your nature. You gave us, a glimpse of your nature. Like you said something like, I was very careless with my things and needed my parents' help to organize them, etc. Fantastic. And what I really appreciate was that you came back, or after that little pause and a little prompting from me, you came back with a very interesting incident, something again that all of us could identify with. Because we ourselves have got drenched in mucky water and then had to sit through that little stink wherever we went. All right. So very well done. A winding up statement would have completed it and made it perfect. Great job, Alida. Anyway. Okay. I'm going to now ask Eden Ann to speak because I did get a chat message that she would like to speak.
Runa, just before we continue, because of the time constraints, maybe we would take this one and then move forward. Is that okay? Thank you.
All right. Eden, I'm going to give you a situation and I know you can do it. All right. Now, again, I'm going to use a prop. So you can see an umbrella here. This is my prop. I'm going to hold it behind me for a while. Now, here's what I want you to imagine. All right. I want you to imagine that you are walking under an umbrella. All right. You are walking in the rain under an umbrella and you see someone you admire who you would like to share that umbrella with. Now, who would this person be and why? It could be a celebrity, a sports person, somebody you idolize, or it could be a real person, living or dead, anything, okay? So who would you want to share your umbrella with? Somebody who's getting wet in the rain. Who and why?
Okay. Oh, it's raining today. Oh my God, it's Kendall Jenner. Kendall, would you like to stand under my umbrella? Oh, I never thought I would ever be able to talk to you, but it's such a dream to talk to you in the rain. The rain. Where would you like to go today? Oh, for some tea? I don't drink tea, but maybe some coffee? All right. I love your shoes. Oh my God, where did you get them from? Could you get me some, please? Oh, thank you so much. Good, you still have time. How about your purse? Where did you get your purse from? Actually, could you mind holding the umbrella because you're very tall and I'm very short? So I think it would be better if you hold the umbrella. Thank you so much. You're such a dream to hang out with. Even this 1 minute, that's not getting over at all. Over to you, Runa.
Okay, great. Very well done. You can see She used the technique of monodrama. She pretended to be in the situation holding an umbrella. For a moment, I thought that Siona was Kendall Jenner sitting there next to her. Anyway, again, you brought out, why you admire her, something about her, like the fact that she's so tall and she's got lovely shoes and that you love everything about her. So you managed to bring out something about the personality of the person you were walking with. Great, very well done. And I think I can wind up this session thanking all of you for being such responsive participants. The next time I would want to see the rest of you speak, especially the new Vasco Toastmasters who I haven't had a chance to, hear speaking before. But I must say that it was a really vibrant session. We saw such a variety of, speeches and techniques being used and being employed. And I think it was a real treat for all of us, better than the pakoras and tea would have been. So thank you so much. And over to you, Toastmaster Manish.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Runa, for taking us through a really interesting journey of table topics. I learned a lot today about table topics because it's always the OREO method that we talk about, maybe timeline, but mono and all these different ones. I think that was a fantastic education session for me. And I think a lot of other Toastmaster clubs would benefit from something like this. So I do wish that, the others also take that up. Excellent choice of topics. Really good. I think the audience found it very easy to enthrall the rest of us to take on that particular topic. So excellent choice. And once again, thank you very much for being our table topic master for today, Toastmaster Runa. As we move into the next session for today's program, I would like to call our area director and Toastmaster Nigel, who will play the role of the general evaluator. He will, of course, being a seasoned Toastmaster, he will explain his role and he'll take you through the journey of a general evaluator. From here, I sign off. Thank you very much for bearing with me. Over to you.
Yes. Nigel, we cannot hear you in case you're speaking. Nigel, we cannot hear you. Is it just me or the others cannot hear as well, right?
Even I can't hear him.
Okay.
You want me to continue till he comes in? I'll...
Okay, I think it's...
I'll bring in the role players till then, till you get him.
Okay.
Yeah, Siona.
Yes, I think we'll...
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, can you all put on your videos on? We'll have a group picture by the time we get Nigel back. Yes? Oh, how do I get this done? Someone, just a moment. Oh God.
I can do it.
Okay. Is Clyde there? No, Clyde is not in the room. Okay. Put on your best minds. Farida. I need some.
I'm not where you can photograph me, dear. I'm still at the clinic.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Is Nigel back? Nigel, are you with us?
Nigel?
Shall I complete the reports of the 3 role players till then?
Okay. Just a moment. Just one other thing.
Sure.
ऐसा लगता है इतना बड़ा बांस है, बहुत लगता है मुझे, कभी भी रात को इतना नहीं खाते, खाता है इतना।
Well, hello everyone. I think there's some glitch, and I have Nigel on the call. Please confirm if you guys can hear him. Nigel.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Yes, they can all hear you.
Yes, you are.
Okay, awesome. So thank you, Toastmaster Anthony, for filling in very short notice. Good evening, everyone. And as the role of the general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the entire meeting as a whole. But before I do so, let me call on the tag team or the timers, the R counters, and the grammarians to present their reports. First up, the timer, if you could please come up on screen and present your report.
Yeah, Gopal, unmute yourself, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay. Good evening to my fellow Toastmasters. My name is Gopal. I'm going to present the timer report, for the impromptu speeches. First, I'll start with Floyd. We have total 7 speakers participated in this impromptu speech. All of them passed this benchmark, and all of them talked almost 1.5 minutes. Almost everyone crossed 1.5 minutes. I'll start with Floyd. He took almost 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes exactly, 25 minutes. We all know that Floyd is a good speaker, and he know the techniques in the trade. He spoke for almost 2 minutes 25 seconds. So it's and Clifford. He also completed 1 minute 40 seconds. Rishabh, he completed 1 minute 36 seconds. Siona, 1 minute 32 seconds. She's also passed the exam. Meenal, she took almost 1 minute 57 seconds. Alida, 1 minute 40 seconds. Eden, even though she was fumbling here and there, but she could able to complete 1 minute. It's 1 minute 8 seconds she completed. So all of them successfully passed. That's a report from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Gopal, for that very precise report. Next up, let us have the R counter to present their report.
Okay, here is my R counter report. Runa used 5 hours. Clifford used 3, and I think I used the majority of the hours. So that's it from me. Yeah, over to you, Toastmaster.
Yes, thank you so much. And finally, let us have the grammarian's report.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, so now I'm going to present to you the grammarian's report. During the meeting, I have noticed some good use of the language. Okay, so Toastmaster Alida, who brought out the word bewildered, that's a good one. Nevertheless, we had no challenging usage of the language. And now I would like to bring up the word of the day, which was encouraged to be used. So Toastmaster Manish, who used it once, Toastmaster Runa, who used it once, and Toastmaster Minal, who again used it once. Okay. Overall, it was a wonderful meeting, and all of the speakers have kept me on my toes. And I hope that you all have learned, and with this experience, I'm sure it has been enthralling. Thank you.
Okay, Thank you, Gramarian, for presenting your report. Now it comes to my report. First and foremost, I thought the theme that was chosen was amazing. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Menezes, did an excellent job explaining not just the theme, but also went into explaining the nuances of what goes into being the Toastmaster of the day. Furthermore, we had our dynamic Toastmaster Runa that gave us an excellent session on table topics. I'm pretty sure the entire session enthralled all of us. Beyond just putting the table topics out, he also went on to give a small description of what were the good parts of the table topics that were delivered and how those masters would improve here and there. So I thought, again, the table topic session was done brilliantly. And in terms of the overall meeting, I thought it was a fantastic meeting. It was an excellent learning for each and every one of the Vasco Toastmasters. I completely agree with Toastmaster Menezes that such kind of sessions need to be done for other clubs as well, because beyond the OREO technique, there are so many other techniques in table topics that can be used and employed when delivering the table topics. And this today was an excellent session in all. With that, I'd like to conclude my General Evaluator's report, and over to you, Toastmaster Anthony.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Nigel, for that wonderful evaluation. And so today we are at the end of the meeting. Since we do not have guests, but we have the first time, Toastmasters who are attending for the first time, and I would like to quickly hear maybe a line or two about how you felt before we close down. Okay, so Toastmasters, Sanam, what was your experience? A quick feedback.
It was really a wonderful meeting. I mean, I was this is probably my third meeting overall. One meeting I had attended about 3 years back at the start of N Fonte Toastmaster group, and then thereafter during Clyde's Toastmaster Ponda that session I attended. That was also amazing, amazing training. That during that session, Ashley had a wonderful session on critical listening in that session. And today also, really it was a wonderful session. Toastmaster Runa, you were really amazing. You told us what these table topics are all about. Those techniques, 3 main techniques which you told us. I'm really enthralled with the knowledge which you shared with us, and look forward to though you had I'm trying to learn about the concepts. Maybe next time I will participate in table topics, and really it was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanam. And before we close, one quick word from Toastmaster Swayam. Swayam, how did you feel at your first meeting?
Hi guys. I was really nervous because this was my first meeting. I learned so many things, and I hope I will learn more things after more meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Swayam.
Yeah.
Okay. So, fellow Toastmasters, this was all for today. This is the last meeting, and soon we're going to have the first meeting, quite reversed, right? But this is where our journey starts. So let us meet again. Thank you to all the Toastmasters from Vasco Club, also from the other clubs. Runa, I'm giving an open invitation. Okay, please come to our club very often, and the others as well. Nigel, you too. Yeah, we're always there.
Runa, your motivation will increase by motivating us.
Right.
That's true. I agree.
Yes.
I'll come more often.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Good night.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Bye, guys.